All right. Okay, we're live. Hello, everybody. We are working. I want to make sure everything is live, 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 live. Hey, it is Lori Key, the Realty Goddess. I am live on Instagram. I am live on Facebook. I am live on LinkedIn and Twitter, which is now called X. And I am also on YouTube. All right. So, guys, I have some awesome things to talk about today. As you know, if you have been following me this month, that I have dedicated this month to home ownership for women, because a lot of time women are afraid to purchase homes because they think if they're single, hey Willie, good to see you. If they're single, then they can't own a home by themselves. And so we are actually going to bust some myths today. We're going to continue with our series for women and home ownership, and hopefully you'll learn something today. If I do not see your comments, please just overlook it. It doesn't mean that I'm ignoring you. I have 4 or 5 different devices going on right now. I may miss your comment, but if you have a question, I want you to please make sure you put it in the chat so that we can definitely talk afterwards, and then I'll answer your questions there. So let's go ahead and dive into some stuff. First of all, being a woman, nothing like it. Nothing like it. We are powerhouses. We can do anything that we set our mind to. And home ownership is a power play. We ain't playing checkers, ladies. We're playing chess, and we're in it to win it. So today I'm going to discuss something that really scares ladies when they are buying on their own, and that is money. Money. Where am I going to get this down payment? And a lot of the times people think that a typical down payment is going to cost you about 20% down. That is not the case. That hasn't been the case for a very long time. There are many programs out here that can help you, give you down payment assistance. And there's other programs such as the FHA loan program, which you only have to put down 3.5%. Okay, of the purchase price of the home. Well, I know you're probably thinking, oh God, that's still a lot of money, especially if you are living in places like California. But there are other things that you could also be getting within this that is also going to help you put that money down. But first of all, I want to share some really interesting stats with you. Do you know that the average person spends about $1,200 a year, which breaks down to about $93 a month just on Starbucks? Just on Starbucks. So those little $5 here, $10 there runs to Starbucks, they add up. And if you really look at that, that is a lot of money. And we want to make sure that you are putting this money into perspective, because when you think 3.5%, you're thinking a big number, but you're not thinking the big number when you're going to Starbucks, okay? Now, I'm kind of a weird lady. My husband, he kind of gets off easy, guys. He gets off easy because I don't go to get my hair done every week. I don't get my nails done every week. I used to, but to be honest, I had an allergic reaction and I could not continue with the nails, but I'm also learning guitar. So therefore I don't need the nails. But on average, ladies pay anywhere from $40 to $120 every time they go to get their nails done. The fancier, the longer, the more you add on to, you want a pedicure, you're adding that up. That is usually every 2 weeks, guys. Every 2 weeks, because when you get the false nails or whatever, you have to have the fill-in. That costs money as well. So you're looking at an average of about $40 to $100 every 2 weeks. Now, that's $80 to $200 a month. Okay. And I know you're saying, but I need my nails and hairs done. Not saying that you can't, but there are ways to get around situations to help you save more. Hey, Zachary, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate you. Ladies, instead of going 2 weeks, suffer through 1 more week of refills on your nails. It's really not going to hurt you. Okay. And then that cuts down a little bit. That does save money over time. Okay. And maybe you might not get a pedicure every time. Maybe you just get a pedicure once a month. That money can go toward your fund for paying for your home. Okay. And ladies, now I'm going to really probably step on some toes right now and say to you that those Coach purses, those Prada purses, you're not going to get anything less. You might get a change purse for $400. Okay. Do you really need another Coach purse? Is that an investment that's going to give you its return? Now, I know some of them are collector's items, but if you wear them to death, then you're not going to get the return that you are expecting to get from that. So I want you to actually see that this is doable. This is completely doable. All right. Now, we just hit a couple of things that ladies do. So shoes, shoes, red bottom shoes, the Louis Vuittons, 500 to 2,000, easy. Do you really need that? Or can you get by with TJ Maxx every once in a while? I'm not saying you can't always have things that are nice and that cost things, but in the aspect of trying to save money for a home and getting something that is definitely going to build your generational wealth, I really need you to start seeing that the daily things that you are doing, the monthly things that you are doing add up. So I just wanted to put that in your ear. But now we're actually going to talk about how you can save up for this 3.5 and what is down payment? What is down payment? Excuse me. Sorry, that was rude. I had the hiccups. That's crazy. Hey, Shonda, good to see you. Down payments for a home is typically 3.5% for an FHA loan. If you are a veteran, ladies, I know we have lady veterans too, you cannot put down anything with your program because the government VA program can help you with 0 down payment. Then you have conventional programs and USD programs. Now, USD programs, you don't necessarily have to buy a farm, guys. That's something that people don't understand. They don't really, they think that they have to buy a farm with the USD. No, it's usually just in what's considered rural areas, and that's not always country areas. So you may have a break with your USDA down payment. Conventional loans, you can get as low. I actually did have a lender of mine had one that was 3.5%. That was a conventional loan as well. But typically you're going to see about 5% to 20% of a conventional loan if you have that. And let's be truthful. The more you put down, the better. But if you are starting out and you are just now getting your feet wet in the real estate game, you definitely can start with 3.5% for FHA. There are guidelines about that. I do have many pieces of information about that on my YouTube channel. I've actually had one of my best lenders sit down and talk to me about the different types of loans. So if you missed that, I want you to go to my YouTube channel, which is Laura Key Realty Goddess, and look for that video, and it will explain to you the different types of loans that are out here. But I want to talk to you about down payment assistance programs. So down payment assistance programs is helping to make home ownership affordable, mostly to first-time home buyers, but it's not always just for first-time home buyers. You could have purchased a home and then not owned a home for a year or two, and you still would be considered a first-time home buyer. So don't let that discourage you. It just depends. Down payment assistance programs are typically administered by the federal or state and local level. This means that sometimes the state can give you a down payment assistance program, the city can give you a down payment program, or even in districts like even though Los Angeles was a city, it covered the Los Angeles County, but there were places like Compton that had their own down payment assistance programs if you bought in the area. So there are many, many places that you can get down payment assistance programs and many different programs. And there's even programs for just ladies. So you want to make sure that you research that. Now, if you are interested in seeing what down payment assistance programs are in your area, you can visit my webpage. That is www.laurakey.net/down payment programs. I have listed each state on my website so that you can open it up and see what is currently going on in there. And I try to keep that updated as much as possible, but by no means is that a full exhaustive list. It's actually going to give you some information on where you can get started. Now, you may have to go through some guidelines. Maybe you have to fit a certain income bracket. Sometimes they have things, specialty loans for doctors and lawyers and all those, and maybe you have to fit into that criteria. But who qualifies? There are more than 3,000 down payment assistance programs available nationwide. Nationwide. It helps the lower income family as well as the first-time home buyers. And this includes eligibility requirements. Perfect example, the Good Neighbor Next Door. The Good Neighbor Next Door is a government program where people can buy homes and get 50% off of them. And they have to fit a certain criteria, and the homes have to fit a certain criteria. If you need to know more about that program, once again, I have a full-length video on YouTube that explains what Good Neighbor Next Door is. I have sold many of those to teachers, firefighters, law enforcement, and EMT. So that is a perfect example of about special programs for different types of professions. Buyer down payment assistance programs aren't meant to replace your primary mortgage. Rather, down payment assistance programs enhance your buyer's mortgage to owning a home and making it a little more affordable, because your down payment goes toward the price of the home, and then therefore your price of your home comes down, and therefore you have a little equity. Usually you have a little equity with that. There are five types of down payment assistance. One, cash grants for your down payment. So cash grants account for the majority of the down payment assistance programs, and a typical first-time home buyer's cash grant is awarded around, roughly, and this is spread across average of the United States of America, about $10,000, okay? Bigger cities sometimes get bigger down payment assistance, like New York or Los Angeles, okay? But the cash grant is one of those, okay? Number two is your closing cost credits. Closing costs are not a part of your down payment. That is something different. So that's 2 buckets of money I'm talking to you about, okay? And I also have a freebie, so stick around. So I'll tell you how to get that. And this will also discuss the flow chart of what it is in buying a home and break it down a little bit more. But closing cost credit grants are paid at closing, and that reduces the cash that you need to bring to the closing costs. So it pays for your closing fees, maybe a little bit of your lender fees. It all depends on the guidelines of that, okay? 3 is interest rate reductions. Some cities make homeownership more affordable by subsidizing low interest rates for home buyers, okay? And sometimes lenders actually have their own programs that will also reduce your interest rate reductions. And sometimes you can actually ask the sellers if they would help you to buy down your rate. And once again, YouTube, my channel has all this information on it for you. The next type of down payment assistance is property tax credits. Property tax bills and credits help to reduce your down payment a little bit with the taxes. So they're available to all home buyers, not just first-time home buyers. Tax bill programs award tax abatements and tax relief to homeowners in specially designed areas and zoning of the city, okay? And 5, you actually have down payment loans. Down payment loans. At least the most common one is the interest-free down payment loan. So you can take a loan for that 3.5%. That's a separate loan, but they have a low or no interest fee. So you could pay that back over time as well, sometimes along with your mortgage, but they separate it and then you could do that. Now, one thing I do want to share with you about down payment assistance programs, some of them require you to pay them back over time. Some of them are free and clear. So that's one of the things that you need to ask when you're talking to your lender or you're looking into the down payment assistance programs. You want to ask, is this free and clear, or is this a program that I have to do and pay back the money? Or what if I only own my home for 5 years? And if you sell it before a 10-year mark, you may have to pay that back. Sometimes you don't have to pay it back if you live in the home for a certain amount of time. So as you can see, there are many different aspects to down payment assistance programs, but it is actually out there for you, okay? It is totally out there for you. There are many different programs. Do not let funds scare you to death about buying a home because it is optional for you. Hey, Michelle, thank you. I'm seeing some of my comments roll in right now. I'm using Restream, so I'm on a couple of different things right now, and I'm just getting used to using it again. So, ladies, I'm going to need you to start thinking about home ownership for yourself. Who cares if you're not married? Who cares if you're not where you think you should be? Because a lot of times you're much further along than what you think, and you're holding yourself back. And let me tell you something else. Just because home ownership has always been pushed for single family homes, ladies, you could buy a condo and launch yourself into home ownership with your condo. Use that for leverage to buy a home later, or use that for leverage to rent out later when you buy your bigger home. There's so many different positive things. And I know right now people are putting crap in your head, talking about interest rates. Baby, honey, sugar. They are still historically low, and a good lender is also going to help you do the best to get the best rate and then continue to watch over you, right? Watch over you, because as the rates start changing, and maybe if they go down again, they may call you and say, hey, Susie, interest rates are down. Maybe you need to refinance. There are so many ways that you can become a homeowner, ladies. You just got to get out of your own way. So to recap, first of all, I want you to look at your budget. Some people, and it's so hard to just assume that you pay certain things because we whip out that debit card every 2 seconds. But if you take your time to really sit down and see just how much you're whipping out that debit card, you're going to see that there are many places where you can cut back. Starbucks, red bottom shoes, purses, nails, pedicures, and you don't have to give them up, ladies. You don't have to give them up, but there are ways that you can scale back. All right. Now, I have a freebie for you. It is a home buyer's guide. Within that home buyer's guide, there is a flow chart to what it takes to buy a home. So you'll see, what is the process of buying a home? Let's get you started and thinking in the right mindset for buying a home, okay? So what I'm going to tell you to do is to go and download it now. It is free, and I'm not going to bug the hell out of you with other things, but you may get an email from me once a week with more tips and tricks. But this freebie is just that, it's freebie. freebie. Learn about the process and learn about the flow. Okay. So what you need to do is just go to bit.ly / and since I'm talking to the ladies, bit.ly / homes in heels guide. Homes in heels guide. I'm going to go back and put this information in our comments. And I'm also going to put it in the description so that you can go back and download this freebie. I highly encourage you to do so that you can say, maybe, maybe, just maybe I could do this. Because you can. You can. There's nothing holding you back but you. And let me tell you one more thing before I let you go. Don't get into the mind frame of, oh my God, my credit. Yeah, that's another thing we're going to tackle. So stay tuned because next week we will talk about credit. Don't let that hold you back, ladies. If your credit is not so good right now, I call that your starting point. Okay, it's your starting point. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It is something that we can work on to get you to where you need to be. Now, this may not be instant. You may not be able to buy this year. You may not be able to buy next year. But the more you get educated, the quicker you can be a homeowner. So go ahead, go download that guide, all lowercase, bit.ly / home in heels guide. And I will put it in the description. Thank you so much for being here with me. I am grateful for you being here with me. And if you know a lady who has been interested in buying a home and has not really known what to do to get started, why don't you direct her my way? Okay. I am very well versed in this game. I've been in the game since 2006. I've been teaching first-time homebuyers classes the same amount of time. I also am an international realtor. So that means that I can teach you to buy if you're not interested in buying in the United States. I can help you with your international real estate deal. And right now, I am focusing in Portugal, which there is a lot of affordable property here. And do you need to be a Portugal resident to purchase? No, you do not. Putting a little bug in your ear to let you know that you could do this. I am Lori Key. I am the Realty Goddess, and I help to establish the community one house at a time. I wish you nothing but love, light, and blessings. Why not go out on a limb? Isn't that where the fruit is? It is. Go be a good human, because you never know when a smile is really going to save somebody's life. Good. Bye, y'all. And thank you for being